Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as a Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about clear quartz and the importance of how you guys should be using clear quartz in every single thing you do. Now, what's the best crystal to start off with? I'm going to tell you black tourmaline because of how protective and how much it can initiate a spiritual awakening based on your guides knowing you're protected because you have something around you that's going to protect you from when the communication is opened to it being clean and you speaking to your guides. Sometimes they do wait for you to have a certain protection before they can talk to you, because guess what? In the spiritual side, everything's waiting to talk to you. As soon as you can be heard, as soon as they can be heard, everything steps in. So I always suggest black tourmaline as a first crystal to start off with. It's not easy. It's not the easiest crystal to take care of, but I think it's the most necessary first crystal. I just made a video about that and how important black tourmaline is. But let me talk about this cool clear quartz for a second. This is actually really cool because this is a natural formation. My clear quartz comes from Brazil. Now, clear quartz I think is the most important crystal ever. You know why? It's because any crystal, next to black tourmaline, it's not as important as black tourmaline. It's just as important. It can act like black tourmaline, so it's not really fair to say that. I'm going to talk about tourmalated quartz in this video and its comparison. I can have a little bias sometimes just based on how many people I've helped. I will always go to black tourmaline first, but it's necessary to have black tourmaline or any other crystal with clear quartz. And why is that? Now, it took me a while to learn this, and a lot of people and helping people in just different experience, but clear quartz is the master crystal. It's the enhancement crystal. It is the most important crystal to have with any other crystal. I still think black tourmaline, but this is the most necessary because guess what? If you don't have your black tourmaline one day, which I really think you should because it's that protective, then you should have clear quartz with any other crystal you have. Maybe you just would like to wear amethyst. Besides my warnings with black tourmaline, I'm like, you should wear black tourmaline first before any other crystal. I'm going to keep telling you that, guys, because I see how protective it is and I see how life-changing it is and how much can't get through until you take off the black tourmaline. I'm going to keep talking about black tourmaline if you guys can't tell. It's that helpful. It changes that much. But clear quartz, let's just say you brought amethyst to work and maybe all you had was amethyst. You didn't have black tourmaline yet and you have a clear quartz. Now, when you bring black tourmaline... Black tourmaline is embedded in what I do because of how strong it is, so it's going to keep popping out. But amethyst, when you take clear quartz and you match it with amethyst, let's say that amethyst was putting off 10 points, right? It's 10 points of amethyst, 10 points of amethyst, 10 points of amethyst. It's just sending out, because if you actually can see how the crystals look from the spiritual side, if you've actually been, okay, so for some of the people who are more astrally adept, when you leave your body, when you go into the spiritual realm, when you go into in-betweens, and you get to perceive how energy looks very differently. So how does a crystal look energetically on the spiritual side? It's actually very interesting. Now, a crystal, which I don't have any selenite nearby, it's all in my windows, doors, and I have a whole closet of selenite, but selenite literally has like a billion strings going all over the place. Maybe you guys have had someone, if you give someone selenite, there's my necklace going crazy again. I'll fix this eventually. Okay, this necklace is like jet light. If anyone knows what that means, it's like paper thin. But, okay, with amethyst, and you put it with clear quartz, when you put amethyst and clear quartz together, it amplifies the power of the amethyst. And like I was saying with the selenite example, how does selenite look in the spiritual realm? Selenite in the spiritual realm looks like 100,000 billion strings just going all over the place. And what are the strings doing? Like, why? What do you mean it has strings? It's like Wi-Fi. It's going in every single direction. It's kind of like, if you can look at radiation, how radiation looks on like I don't know if it's an infrared. There's certain machines you can just basically see different gamma waves, and just different waves of energy. Same thing with crystals. They're literally emitting energy. Why is a crystal important as a point? It's because it's literally shooting energy out of the point, especially if you put another crystal next to it. This is Mystic Merlin or Indigo Gabbro. So if you put this next to this, it's going to be shooting the energy of the crystal up into the air and actually just out into the whole atmosphere. So I'm actually in a practice right now. It's a very, very old practice. I'm looking what they did in ancient Egypt and in different cultures, but I guess they call them like totems or whatever, but I'm practicing. It's not a grid. It's basically where you're programming certain energies to be shot out around the room. You can put them in the four corners. I'll teach that once I master it because it's still very interesting. What does amethyst look like? And compare, well, amethyst and selenite are kind of similar. Amethyst can have cleansing properties of other crystals. If you take a crystal and you leave it next to amethyst for like a month, it's going to cleanse and charge the other crystal. It's going to kind of reset itself. I wouldn't suggest, I mean, some places online to be like, oh, you can use amethyst to cleanse and charge your stones. Yeah, if you want to wait a month. I mean, some people do, because some people just wait for the full moon. That's not a good idea. What if you had a long day and that, I mean, what if someone sent you a psychic attack and now that psychic attack was absorbed by the amethyst and now the amethyst is now overwhelmed and now you wait until the whole full moon? No, don't do that. Use selenite. It's the easiest way. So if you have a little piece of selenite and a large necklace or a large piece of whatever crystal you're trying to use, such as hematite, I would get a bigger piece of selenite because size with crystals definitely does matter. The energy of the capacity of an so if this holds 10 energy and I have a giant chunk of this that holds 1,000 energy, it's completely different. This one's going to be exhausted sooner than that one just because it was able to hold a different amount of ions, a different charge to it. It's science. You learn that in different chemistries. I went to the University of Florida. I took every single chemistry. Some of them I failed over and over again until I got them right. So I learned extra stuff from different professors. So I really, because some professors would skip chapters and then I retook it and then they actually added some chapters. I'm like, oh no. But it actually helped me learn a little bit more and it helped me really secure the knowledge versus just remember it. So chemistry does apply to crystals because they're biology. They literally come from the ground. People are like, oh, crystals, rocks aren't real. I'm like, look at the periodic table. Go back to middle school. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put anyone down like that, but at this point, if you don't know that, if you've never taken geology, I mean, for people who just think crystals are rocks, you can rub two pieces of clear quartz together very fast, and I don't suggest you do it, and they'll both light up. I don't suggest you do it because if a piece chips off and goes in your eye, then you're going to go to the emergency room and be like, yeah, I rubbed them two rocks together so fast that it turned into light and then it blinded me. I mean, the clear quartz is doing that by itself, especially when put next to black tourmaline, so you don't have to do that. Now, back to my topic with clear quartz. Anything you put next to clear quartz is greatly going to enhance the power. If you want the maximum benefit of a crystal, let's say your favorite, you just use one crystal. If you use, and this is why I have an amplified necklace, because I really took a while, like a good long time to post on my website about, I'm like, okay, what should I be posting as spacers between just different crystals? I'm like, okay, copper is a good energy conductor. Although clear quartz does beat copper in its enhancement properties, I'm like, okay, what about hematite because it has abilities to, I mean, hematite's good, but it's better for strength qualities. What about steel? Steel can actually do it similar to copper and hematite at the same time, but it doesn't compare. I'm like, okay, so basically nothing compares to clear quartz. I think of things so far ahead of time when I say them, so I'm like, clear quartz compares, nothing compares. But, yeah, so clear quartz is like, you should really, if you have a crystal grid in your home, you need to add clear quartz if you want to take that crystal grid and amplify it times 3. So let's just say, let's take tigereye, for example. I keep tigereye nearby because it's a very important stone because it's literally shimmering back psychic attacks. Oh, I rhymed it. But it's literally shimmering back psychic attacks. Okay. Now, if this is shimmering back, you can kind of think about, if I put this next to this, now I have like 10 pieces of this. That's pretty cool. Size does matter with clear quartz. And now, I'll make an entire video about the shapes of crystals and why they matter. Yes, it does make a giant difference, but no, it's not a deal breaker. I mean, it depends on your intention and why you would like a geometrical shape, but I can say that sometimes a pile of powdered crystal can act like an actual crystal. It can. Depends on the crystal, depends on the circumstances, depends on the environment. It really depends. But some people get so caught up in like, oh, I like the raw crystal. Like, yeah, this raw piece of black tourmaline is way stronger than it tumbled. And I'm like, technically, no. The black tourmaline, when it's like this, if it takes any kind of attack, it's going to kind of chip off and become smaller. The stone, when it's rounded, and even on my website, I do have more natural shapes, which people seem to like. They're a little more because they can be tougher to get, but It depends on the crystal. Like, and it just chipped off now. It's just because I have a little stand that I constantly put on, and if it's not on there properly, I'll be like, just stay, and it comes off a little bit. Whatever. It's not taking any psychic attack or anything. The funny thing is, when I hold black tourmaline up in my TikTok lives, about 10 or 15 people automatically leave. They're like, there could be 200 people on there, and now there's like 180. I'm like, just because I held up the tourmaline, that should say something about his energies. It's literally like a slap in the face to anyone who has like something really dark on them. It's not slapping them, it's slapping the entity on them in the face. And whatever entity is on someone when you have black tourmaline is the main reason as to why they just peel. That's why certain people stop messaging you, stop texting you. I'm going to come up with like a black tourmaline challenge or something. Like, it's exciting what black tourmaline does. I'll talk about black tourmaline every single video because of how cool it is. It's so life-changing. Like, I've seen miracles occur with black tourmaline. I'm just, especially very recently, a family member got black tourmaline from me, and this person never smiled at all. And now she's smiling every single day just like me. I mean, life is so much better when you have black tourmaline. I literally have an entire necklace out of black tourmaline on my website, and I'm actually thinking about putting more clear quartz spacers for different series, because if you know how powerful a crystal is between clear quartz, I have a series, literally, it's called the Amplification series on my website. So I take a bead, and then I put 2 pieces of clear quartz next to the bead, so it's kind of like a hydrogen bond, because these are crystals. They have chemical interaction. I mean, there's just spirituality is a science in itself. Like I said, this video, a disclaimer, this video is not talking about any kind of doctorate information for those who are like, but I have disclaimers all over my website and everywhere else. I use the same disclaimers as other major companies do. But, and I don't know if anyone's noticed that the light in the background, the camera is inverted, so the light back there, I put a different light bulb in it, and now it looks like a different crystal. It looks like kind of quartzy, doesn't it? How wonderful. That's very appropriate for this video, but even if you have Himalayan sea salt, like which I have in the back, a selenite, I have a selenite bowl, and that's a selenite Himalayan sea salt bowl. I put a collage of crystals in there. Himalayan sea salt, even if you put anything you put next to clear quartz, is going to be amplified. That's why it's called the Amplification series. It's very well thought out. I really think about things before I release them. I'm like, how can I make this awesome and powerful? I like things to be unsuspecting. Clear quartz is very unsuspecting. I remember the first time, it has a burn mark at the bottom of the clear quartz. I don't even know why. I might have put it on the stove or something. I don't know. I actually think I put a candle with it or something like that. I'm like, I don't have a candle holder. That's actually more like me, but okay, so clear quartz is literally the master enhancer. It takes the powers of other crystals, and sometimes it might not be overly visually appealing. Like, I remember the first time the first time the first time it was suggested to me by my angels, I literally did not really care to use clear quartz, but it was so necessary. I'm like, I don't really understand it. I don't feel like I should use it. And then I actually saw the effects of when you put clear quartz next to other crystals. I mean, if you have a bunch of crystals like this, you absolutely should have clear quartz. It's more of a crown chakra crystal, but it goes to every single chakra. It's one of the most important crystals I have. It's really deeply embedded in my hair. I'm not going to go pulling crystals out in my hair. I have a kind of clear quartz in my hair right now. I have crystals everywhere in my hair. Like, I can't really pull too many crystals out. It gets kind of awkward if I start plucking them out because there's just so many in here. I have different crystals on crystals on crystals on crystals in my hair, and I'm starting to decide, like, hey, I'm not gonna pull these out because it starts to unravel. Like, if you saw, like, there's like a chain up there, and it's just something I'm trying, because it's like a chain with different kind of quartzes. Like, I'm practicing Tibetan quartzes. I'm just trying different things that are not taught online, so I can actually teach you guys. So that's one of the reasons my knowledge is so special, is because I use myself as a human guinea pig, which is okay, because I'm okay with it. It's all about positive energy and inviting positive energy into your lives. But literally, clear quartz is the master crystal, and it is the strongest crystal at enhancing the power of other crystals. If you're not using clear quartz, then You really should, because it just blasts the power of other crystals through the roof. There's no reason as to why. I mean, the crystal's so far away from me on my desk, I'm not going to reach over and nearly collapse on the microphone or anything like that. But clear quartz is the master crystal. I've learned a lot by working with clear quartz and adding it to different combinations. It just accelerates everything. On its own, I'll make more videos about clear quartz because it's such a magical crystal. Maybe I'll just put a giant piece of clear quartz in this necklace to hold it down. Maybe that's something, because on this, I really like the necklace and I really like the pattern of this necklace. But in the future, you'll see me add like something on there, because this thing is like, it's like air. If you can hear it, if crystals make sounds, and this sounds like I don't know what it sounds like. It's just so light. Some crystals are actually really light. Some crystals are actually really heavy. Some people will get hematite and they're like, oh, it's heavy. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I think crystals are pretty cool. Use clear quartz if you really want to enhance your spirituality. I'm going to make more videos on clear quartz in the future. It's very powerful. Don't sleep on clear quartz. And what does that mean? I can't put it in my pillow. You told me not to sleep on clear quartz. He said don't sleep on it. Okay, it's a term, especially in South Florida, or in Florida in general, like, don't sleep on that. It means don't neglect it, because it's really going to help you. Or like, don't... I had to explain that to a few people in different comment sections. I'm like, don't sleep on clear quartz. I thought you said it helps dreams. I'm like, it's a terminology. It's a slang. I think it's hilarious, though. At least I clarified it in this video. Clarified it in this video. But clear quartz is wonderful. When it comes to wearing it between jewelry, it doesn't really matter what shape it is. I'm practicing something very unique and different, which I'll reveal in the future, coming up with the points. I'll make a video talking about different points and how they work as well. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Ciao!